Hello and welcome to Your Brand Expert Tips. So today I want to talk about one of the most fundamental parts of your brand strategy, and that is your business card. Now, some question, do we need a business card anymore? Others say, I wouldn't know what to do without my business card. I get so much business from it. Now, maybe that's you. Maybe you are getting loads of business from your business card. Or perhaps you're not. Perhaps you're giving your business cards out and you're not getting many phone calls and you're not getting many people talking about your business or handing your business card to somebody else so that they also have exposure to your brand. Whatever situation you are in with your business card, there are always things that you can do to improve it and make it work even better for you. Now, the reason I'm talking about this today is because I don't know if you, like me, have collected a huge pile of business cards from events and seminars and workshops and things that you've been to in the past. I mean, gosh, I always end up talking to people in the queue at the airport. And I was at a funeral 4 weeks ago, and the last place on earth I expected to be even discussing business. And after the funeral, I had some family members I hadn't seen for years and years, and we were catching up, we were talking, they were telling me about what they're doing, I was telling them about what we're doing, and they said, have you got a card? And I said, sorry, this is the last person and place that I expected to be giving any cards out, so no, I don't have any cards on me today, I'm afraid. And they pulled a card out of their pocket and gave it to me. So it just goes to show that wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You are always a walking, talking brand, and your business card is that mini me that has the potential to get you into a lot of places. You know, a lot of pockets, a lot of wall planners, into a lot of business card holders, onto a lot of desks, into a lot of hands of the kind of clients that you want to work with. So your business card has got the potential to go a lot further than you ever have. Now, touching on this subject, because I've been to so many events and things over the past 6 months, I collected a huge bag of business cards. So as you can see, there is probably a good 200 or 300 cards in there. Now, I went through one by one. I was entering them into our customer relationship management system, our CRM, getting them all into there in front of the telly the other night, and I was looking through them, and I have to say, I didn't remember many of the people that these cards belonged to. And the reason I didn't remember them was because they hadn't really put any effort into their business cards. And if they had, then they're working with the wrong designer, because while they might look pretty, they actually don't do anything. And the whole point of your card is that it is an extension of you. You give them that card and they immediately think of you whenever they see that card. It's something that they keep on their desk because it's so unique. It's something they carry around with them because it's useful. It's something they want to hand to somebody else because it does something different, and they love it, or it's come through their letterbox, and you know, because it's just so different, it sits on their coffee table and friends come to see it, or it sits on the reception desk. You've got to think about what you want your business card to do once you've given it to that person. Now, if you've seen my video, I created a video about 2 or 3 months back when I told you about a story with one of my own business cards, and it had travelled through 7 people to get to what happened to be one of my ideal clients. Now, that card took me 7 months to track that back, and it started at a networking event where I gave it to somebody, and because it had a smell to it, it had a blind emboss, which meant that it felt different, that part of my logo was raised. It had a die cut in it as well, so it felt different, it smelt different, it looked different, and the smell was the same smell that I was wearing. Every little detail, every attention to detail in that card instantly connected that mind, brain and trust association with me. When I gave it to them, there was a certain way that I wanted them to take it. So even the presentation of the card was incredibly powerful, and I'll create another video just on presenting your business cards for you, because that in itself is one of the most important things that you can learn. So do watch out for another video. I'll create one for you in another couple of days, so keep coming back and I'll have one ready for you. But today we're not going to touch on that, because I'm more interested in you actually creating it first. You need something that you're proud of, that represents you, to be able to give that to somebody in the first place. So let's focus on what it is you're going to give them first. So let me just show you some examples of what I would consider to be poor, and other examples of what I would consider to be really good. Now, bearing in mind, as I've told you, a lot of these people that I've collected business cards from, that I've had email contact with because they've emailed me, or I've given them a call straight afterwards, but they've not necessarily gone straight into my CRM. So they've ended up in this bag and travelled around with me until I was ready, until I had some time to just sit there and get them done. So a lot of the people in here, I just had completely forgotten their faces. I couldn't put a face to a name. So that's why it is really important that you create something that's unique. And this is why. Now, I received this card, and I'm not doing this to have a go at anybody's brands or businesses or anything, but this, I don't even remember who this person is. So I've got this card. It's really flimsy, it's really thin. It obviously has been printed by Vistaprint or something, or even on their home printer. Now, the logo on it is actually really good. I like the logo, but how disappointing to let it down on a really flimsy business card that doesn't do it any justice or credibility. The colours on it are brilliant. They've created a black card, but it's the wrong shape for a start. So if you are thinking about creating business cards, just make sure that you create them around the size of 55mm by 85mm. And the reason why is because if people are putting them into a business card holder or a business card box, or you know, you even get these kind of wall planner looking contraptions that you put on the wall that contains about 12 business cards. And places like MOT centres, doctors' surgeries, public spaces, community centres, health centres, those kind of places, they tend to have that kind of thing on the wall because it keeps their customers and people that are coming in to see them interested. You might see them in Sainsbury's, for example, on the wall, and you see all these different business cards. So if you do think that you're going to end up in one of those, then you need to make sure that the card you give them, A, is really strong, because it's going to be put into something like this. The minute you try and put it in, it's just going to bend, it's just going to be really flimsy, you know. It might as well not exist to the person you're giving it to, because it feels that way. They'll just throw it away. It feels cheap, therefore the association that you have with a card like this is the person who's given it to me is cheap. So why would I do business with them? Because if they're the kind of people that cut corners and do things on the cheap, then that's not really somebody I want to do business with. So that card is going to get thrown away, and the person is never going to be remembered. Now, you know, that's a real shame, because that person's probably gone to a lot of trouble and invested some money in getting that logo designed. So you want your brand to be exposed on materials that really do you justice. Don't scrimp at the end. Make sure you follow it through. Invest in having a proper logo and a proper brand created for your business, something that makes you feel like you've gone to the effort and attention to detail to get it right, and all those associations will be carried across mentally and emotionally to the person that is exposed to your brand. If you look like you've invested in attention to detail, then I think that you're gonna be interested in the details of my business and what I need you to help me with. So it's really important that you get that right. So a flimsy card is a big no-no, and a card that is a different shape, big no-no. You know, if you're going to do something that's a different shape, make it really creative, make it do something. You know, you want it to go into the bin in the shortest time possible. You want it to sit on their desk or to be handed to someone else. Make it unique. If it's going to be a different shape, make it something that is going to do something memorable. Don't just do it because you think it's going to look funky. That's not enough. It needs to feel different, it needs to look different, and it needs to do something different. So that for me is a big no-no, and it's just going to go in the bin. This is another one. Again, you know, like they've gone to the effort of having a nice business card designed. You know, look at the back of that. There's nothing on it. It's wasted space. The good thing is they've put all of their details on the front of the card, so that if it's in amongst 12 other business cards that are probably white and boring, or, you know, have nothing on them, then this is a good card because it's got the call to action on it, it's got clear details on there. The only thing it doesn't have on here is a website, which is just a real shame because, you know, you could get loads of these printed and your details might change, whereas your website can be updated at any point. So use your business card as a way to drive people to your website, and that way you can constantly change things on there. You might have a free gift on your website. Put the link on the card so it you know, it reminds people that you exist, and it encourages them to go to something. Once they've left you and they get back to their office, what are they going to do? How are you going to make sure they remember you? So that to me is a big no-no, a complete waste of space, and there's an opportunity there for them to have had their website on the front there as well, so that people have got a call to action to find out more and to have something on here. So this person might have put their photograph on there so that they were memorable. They might have put an offer, or they might have put a testimonial or two on there from their customers. You know, why should I buy from you? How am I going to remember who you are? So there's all sorts of things you can do with this. So, you know, they've gone to the trouble of actually spending money on having 2 sides of a card printed. It will have cost them more to have 2 sides printed. So why waste that space? They could have done something really beautiful and unique on there. And this doesn't even have a logo on it. So I've got nothing to remember this person by. And, you know, it is an accountant's card. You know, well, if you're an accountant, I know some really creative accountants. We've branded some accountants that look completely different and that are winning business and getting lots of publicity and interest just in their business cards. They're winning a lot of money and business from their business cards because they're unique. Now you've got to understand that whatever hand your brand is landing in, you want to make sure they remember you. So these are big no-nos for me. Now let's look at some cards that are big yeses for me. This one, I got this card. Now, as you can see, they've put their brand fully on the front, got a great call to action, they've got their website on there. It doesn't need to be any more conceptually difficult than that. They've got their brand on there and their website. That is their call to action. That is what they want you to do. Now this, as you can probably hear it, has got mints in it. Now, interestingly, this company, 2020, they provide promotional products. So this is a great example of what they do. They are actually giving you something that they've created. So you open this up and it's got, oh, hello. Can't wait to get out. It's got little mints in it. So there you go. You can see. So brilliant. I could carry that card round with me, go to networking events and make sure that my breath is always fresh, because let's face it, it's not very nice when you're talking to someone at a networking event who has smelly breath. So just a great thing, you know. It's 2020, pv.co.uk. They do design, photography, print and promotional. There you go. Now, Pam and Keith, who run this company, happen to be very good friends of mine. So if you do want any promotional products or corporate gifts, do speak to these people. They are walking, talking, living examples of what they do. I trust them because they actually put something in my hand that demonstrates what they do, what they're good at, and I've got their brand with me for the next 30 minutes. So that's stuck in my mind. I'm probably then going to get in contact with them again and say, oh, have you got another packet of those mints? They're brilliant, them. So their brand is getting exposed to loads of people. No wonder they're busy and they've got a good company. They're based in Leeds. Do get in touch with them. I'll put their contact details below. Another one. Now, this card, I remember this guy. I must have met him 2 years ago. So 2 years. This actually, I thought it was about 6 months, but 2 years I've had this bag where I've keep putting cards in it. And I met this guy on an internet marketing course. Now, I remember meeting him, and he was really charismatic, and I had a really good conversation with him. And he gave me this card. Now, I remembered this card, and I remembered this guy for 2 reasons. First of all, he has his face on there. A really good picture. Now, this is an example of a really good picture. I see so many terrible pictures with their arms crossed and looking really stern. That's a bad photo. If you want people to be contacting you and you want to look approachable, then you really do need to think about what your business card is going to have on it as a photograph. Now, I think this is brilliant because it demonstrates that he's written a book, that he's approachable and friendly, he's wearing good open colours, he's not wearing a tie so he doesn't look closed off, he's completely open. I think this is a great photo. There you go, there's his details there as well if you want to get in touch with him. Now the reason I like this is because he's got his call to action on the front. If that card goes in a business card holder or wallet or folder, there is always one side of that card that I can have on display, and I don't need to take the card out every time to find out who he is. That's a great example. The other reason I remembered this card and remembered him is because he's used this card like a brochure. Now, whereas this card, completely wasted, might as well have not really bothered getting them printed, to be honest. This one, I wouldn't be surprised if he's won an incredible amount of business from this card. He's got everything about his business. He's invested money in his brand. He's got a great brand. It shows you, it's selling for dummies. I get the impression that if I were to work with Ben Kench, then my business is going to grow. The Business Booster, the Academy. So he tells me things about his business. It's not cramped, but he's told me things about his business that make me want to know more. He's also used the back of his card to give a free gift worth $300, and it's $300 worth of business building programs, absolutely free. He tells me what it's about. I've got the web address on there, and he's still got his brand. He's got his brand at every side of that card. Brilliant card. Well done, Ken, if you're watching this video. Absolutely brilliant. This is a card that we designed for a film and production company. Again, we said if you're going to invest money on getting a card, invest money on getting the right thing for your business. Don't just invest in the actual branding. So we created the brand and everything for these guys as well. And what we wanted to do was to give their clients the feeling that it's a kind of 3D experience. When you work with Julie and Ian and their team, you're getting a 3D experience. So we created, this is so that people can make notes. When you're at a networking event, you can actually make notes on their card so you remember what it was about them that you had the conversation. So that's a really good thing to do. They've got all their contact details and everything on here. So they've got one side of their card has the call to action, and they've used this as a brochure. So you can actually scan this with your mobile phone and it will come up with a virtual reality video on your phone, and they've got other details in here as well that acts as a little brochure. This card is sitting on the desk of many, many businesses who know that they need film and video in their business. Video is going to be responsible for up to 90% of all website traffic by 2014. You need to be looking at using video in your strategy if you're not already. So talk to these guys at Feature Media. I'll put a link below. And also, now this card, it's not an expensive card, but the reason why it works for me is because I'm a real bookworm. And what this lady has done, Jane Wells, Jane, if you're watching, well done. This is a very, very good card. In fact, Jane, I remember when you gave me your business card, you gave me a flyer and a bookmark and a couple of other things, which just made me remember, can't put my teeth in, made me remember you. So, abundanttherapist.com. What Jane is doing is creating bookmarks. Now, as you can see, it kind of gives a feeling of relaxing and peace. Now, abundant therapists make money doing what they love. So Jane Wells is a therapist, she's a business mentor and a nationally wide speaker for her Abundant Therapist system of training and seminars. So Jane clearly works with therapists and salons to help them make more money, I'm assuming, because this is what her card makes me feel when I get it. So yes, what she's saying is, would you like to find more clients, earn more money and create a thriving practice? So this is a great example of how you can use it. Now, this isn't going to go into a business card holder, and it's not going to go into a wall planner or anything like that, but it will go into a book. And if you've got clients that are bookworms, then like me, they will keep the card because it's useful. So what can you give your customers that is useful? Like, don't let your card be a completely unmemorable. Oh, there you go. There's the other piece of literature that Jane gave me. So she also gave me a flyer as well with it. So there you go, Jane. this is her. If you want to do business with Jane, I'll put her details below, because I think that when someone's done something really well, then they should be recognised for it. And I think that these people are doing it really, really well. You know, I've got a whole bunch of business cards here that are just going to go in the bin now that I've put them into my CRM. And what's the point of that? You know, if you're going to create something, have something that's going to sit on their desk, do something different. And, you know, if you want to be memorable, make sure that what you're giving across is memorable. Your website needs to be memorable. Your business card needs to be memorable. And remember, this is your mini-me. While you're asleep, this could be exchanging hands in some business networking event at the airport, a funeral. You just never know where your brand is going to land. So try and have some more control over that. Try and think about what you want it to do. And do please invest money in your business cards, because it will pay you back. Don't try and go to, you know, a really cheap printer or Vistaprint or something like that. Yes, these places, you know, they have their place, believe me, they do. And Vistaprint, they do some quite unique, funky promotional gifts that can be used, you know, but don't use them for your business cards. It's just not giving the right impression about your business at all. If I get a card like that, I don't even bother looking at it. So be interesting. Go out there, create some amazing business cards, and let us know if there's any other things you want to know about creating a business card or helping you in any way to build your brand. Ask us your questions. Pop your comments below. Send us a direct message. Our email address is advice@howtobuildabrand.org. So do get in touch, and I'll put those links below this video. So if you do need help with getting in front of practices and therapists, and you want to increase your business and increase your sales in that area, Jane Wells is the lady to speak to. If you want video production, feature media, people to speak to, Julie and Ian. If you're wanting to increase your sales, and Selling for Dummies is a great book that it looks like Ben has written. So get in touch with Ben. TheFreeBusinessGrowthSecrets.com is the website address. You know, these people deserve to be recognised, and so do you. So make sure that people are recognising you for the strengths that you have, and go out there and build the brand that you want to see in the world. I'll create another video for you on how to present your business card, and I'll have that on this page for you in another couple of days. So take care, have a brilliant day, and I will be in touch again. Take care, bye-bye.